retraction, ipsilateral cervical rotation, go into abduction, and then 20 repetitions of lateral shoulder rotation. And that would be the exercise. And while we are resting, we are going to continue with our nerve gliding exercise demonstrations. And right now, we're going to continue at the brachial plexus. The last exercise that I showed you was a little bit more general. Now we're going to get a little bit more specific. And this is going to be specifically for issues relating to thoracic outlet syndrome. A few days ago, I showed you how to perform the thoracic outlet syndrome compression test, as well as the thoracic outlet syndrome costoclavicular tension test. What we're going to be doing right now is combining those two assessments and turning them into exercises to help release tension on the brachial plexus. With regard to the positioning, we are going to be in a supine position. So you're going to go ahead and lay down on your back. And there are a few parts to this exercise. First thing that we want to do is just focus on scapular retraction. So we want to squeeze those shoulder blades together and come back. And we're going to do that 3 to 5 times. And you want to ask yourself after 3 to 5 repetitions, are my symptoms getting better, worse, or staying the same? If your symptoms are getting worse or staying the same, immediately stop. There's no need to continue. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. However, if you notice an improvement of your symptoms, we would perform 20 repetitions of scapular retraction. And that's the actual exercise. Let's say you perform a scapular retraction and you don't really notice any reproduction of your symptoms, then we would build tension from there. So once we do the scapular retraction, we would maintain that scapular retraction and add ipsilateral cervical rotation. Ipsilateral meaning the same side. So if my right side is affected, I'm going to look to the right side. So we go into scapular retraction. While maintaining scapular retraction, we're going to do 3 to 5 repetitions of ipsilateral cervical rotation. And then after 3 to 5 repetitions, again, we're going to check in. Ask yourself, are my symptoms getting better, worse, or staying the same? If your symptoms are getting worse or staying the same, immediately stop. There's no need to continue. However, if your symptoms are getting better, we would perform 20 repetitions. So you maintain that contraction. And then for 20 repetitions, we're going to go into ipsilateral cervical rotation. That was the second step. Let's say you do the scapular retraction, you do the ipsilateral rotation, and you don't really notice a reproduction of your symptoms. What we would do is continue to build tension. So what we could do from here is go into abduction of the glenohumeral joint, abduction away from the midline. So we go into scapular retraction, go into ipsilateral rotation of the cervical spine, and then just go into abduction. Do 3 to 5 repetitions while maintaining the retraction and the ipsilateral rotation, and ask yourself, are my symptoms getting better, worse, or staying the same? If they are getting better, we would perform this as an exercise. If they're getting worse or staying the same, stop immediately. We don't want to exacerbate your symptoms. So if it is getting better, maintain that retraction, maintain that ipsilateral cervical rotation, and then go into abduction at the glenohumeral joint for 20 repetitions. Let's say we end up going into abduction and you don't really notice a reproduction of your pain. We would go one step further. So you're going to go into retraction. You want to go into ipsilateral cervical rotation. You want to go into abduction. And then from here, you want to go into lateral shoulder rotation. Do 3 to 5 repetitions of lateral shoulder rotation. If you want, you could also keep the elbow flexed 90 degrees. And then after 3 to 5 repetitions, you would ask yourself, are your symptoms getting better, worse, or staying the same? If your symptoms are getting better, then we would perform this as an exercise. If they're getting worse or staying the same, stop immediately. No need to continue. But if they are getting better, retraction, ipsilateral cervical rotation, go into abduction, and then 20 repetitions of lateral shoulder rotation. And that would be the exercise. If you're experiencing any type of issues relating to tingling along the brachial plexus or any type of radiating pain down the arm, this would be a great way that you can perform, this is a great way that you can release some tension in the brachial plexus. And then with regard to the next video, we're going to be going over a little bit of tension with regard to the median nerve. But for right now, our rest period is up. It is time for set number 4. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.